Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen with a Persistent Universe monthly report looking at what Cloud Imperium games have been working on over the last few weeks and what they're focused on now in September 2023 in the run-up to CitizenCon in regards to Star Citizen's progress, ships, locations, features and tech. It is one of the main sources we have on development info for the project, so let's jump right in. Ship art. They completed work on the Tumbril Storm Light Assault tank, though they're focusing currently on ongoing issues with the treads and how they appear. This vehicle should be coming with a 3.20.x patch. 2 new variants of an existing vehicle were also completed. This is probably the Drake Cutter, as we know there's supposed to be a Scout and Explorer version. An all-new ship progressed through White Box as well, revealing various areas that require updating from the concept, including an increase to the interior space. Now, if you want a potential spoiler to exactly what that ship is, then check out my video linked below. But suffice to say, you can expect some new ships and vehicles at CitizenCon and the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo later in the year, and I suppose at the end of the year with 3.21. The Aopoa Santok Yai, the Xi'an medium fighter, is almost LOD 0 complete, which is the sort of highest level of detail complete that will actually be shown in game. Final updates are underway, including polishing the pilot compartment. The damage pass is also in progress, while the rest of the LOD 0 tasks are closed out. Once complete, they will move on to paints. Looks like the ship will be ready by the end of the year, at least I believe so. The Origin X1 luxury hoverbike is currently awaiting its white box review, though significant changes to item locations have already been made to maximize space. Modelling of the grey box geometry has begun as well. The vehicle features team assisted with bug fixing and stability for Alpha 3.20 and beyond, including getting the Hull C ready for release and completing smaller feature work for upcoming ship releases. Designers then tuned how racing ships perform in atmosphere to bring them closer together and converted more ground vehicles to the new physics model, which allows for more realistic behaviour than before. Mass of size 1 to 3 items was rebalanced for better consistency across ship loadouts and to improve the tractor beam gameplay of removing and replacing items. Smaller vehicle and weapon balance tweaks were also made. Gameplay features continued their ongoing work on vehicle tractor beam features. They also made progress with the resource management system. The mission featured team spent most of their time working on upcoming deliverables and bug fixing for Alpha 3.20. Away from the upcoming patch, the Siege of Orison received various improvements ahead of a future release, with the main focus being keeping players together. Development of the Blockade Runner mission, which will replace the Ninetales lockdown missions, continued to receive work. Significant improvements were made to existing Destroy Drug Stash missions to ensure mission critical items are spawned when the player arrives. They also made great progress in modularizing the new player experience so that it can be used in any landing zone with the correct markup. The Steal Evidence at Korea and Retrieve Consignment missions entered the polish phase, with Reputation being hooked up. Work also began on ship restoration missions, which will require players to restore ships to a saleable condition. Data Heist passed another gate review and will enter internal playtesting to ensure the objectives are clear. The ship cargo steal and recover hauling missions have been taken as far as they can until further cargo features are developed. In the meantime, the mission feature team will make a courier version in which smaller items are the objective. They progressed with reputation-based hostility, devising a mission that allows players to work for the Ninetales gang. Once completed, they'll convert most of the nameless criminal missions to Ninetales until further gangs are added. Code work was completed on highlighting and filtering of mission critical items in inventory. This is now in the hands of UI for their pass. They also completed some more tasks for the ship trespass sort of feature, with nested trespass being the main thing holding it back. The new economy team planned their upcoming goals, including rebalancing cargo and the related experience. They also began building a tool to investigate the current state of cargo, which could be expanded to other areas of the in-game economy. The characters and weapon feature team continued working on weapon poses. Currently, a player approaches a collision surface with their equipped weapon raised to avoid clipping through the geometry. The team explored alternatives where the weapon is lowered, moved to the bottom of the first-person view, and rotated towards the body so it lies diagonally across the abdomen. This will be more natural in certain situations and limits clipping, and ensures the majority of the player's view is unobscured, particularly when interacting with screens in the environment. Procedural recall also progressed to ensure the feel of each weapon can be tweaked to make it feel unique unique. They are exposing all of the variables to the content creators. These curves will allow multiple layers of subtle movement and rotation to be overlaid to create a wide range of interesting results. It is a bit of a manual process and requires significant attention to detail, but it can add a lot of personality to a weapon. Character art progressed with various content for an upcoming event and assets for the Headhunters gang. Along with this, the concept artists explored additional ideas for Headhunters and worked on a medical outfit and new flight suit. Animation worked through a number of behavioral lines for background, ambience, and flight. They also supported tech animation on creature skeletons that will eventually be used in the persistent universe. The locations team progressed across various areas in the last few weeks, including the rundown station and colonial outposts for the Pyro system. They also worked on signage and dioramas for an upcoming event. Assumedly, that's either something at CitizenCon or the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. The Organics team continued to build Pyro's planets, including foliage, with the Sandbox team moving to the new underground facilities that are currently in Greybox. The narrative team continued to focus on Pyro, with writing multiple missions, crafting strings to populate new locations, and working on anything from signage to food items. In Stanton, several new mission types were worked on and improvements were made for the existing content. They also worked on NPC behaviors for Pyro and continued to explore how to make NPC behaviors feel unique across the various landing zones. The lighting team continued to contribute to Pyro, working on tasks for the colonial outposts and rundown station. I am assuming they mean ruin station. They also worked on an upcoming event. As part of the development of Pyro, the UI team created fluff screens and converted flash animations into fluff screens. They also supported the data heist mission. The VFX team continued working on various Pyro locations, including some with animated machinery. VFX programming implemented smoke spawning on fire, along with various other quality improvements to bring the feature to a visually complete and rather impressive state. Further improvements to lighting effects were made, which will be used in the future within gas clouds. The in-game branding team continued to progress with the underground facility exteriors. They are also working closely with the EU Locations 2 team on an upcoming event and progressed with some event-related add-ons. The Interactable team created a new asset for Pyro's Ruin Station alongside various flair items. I think they're using Ruin and Rundown interchangeably rather than referring to the other stations in Pyro as Rundown stations, but I could be wrong with that. Also, Cloud Imperium constantly mentioning an upcoming event. I'm assuming that is either CitizenCon or the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, or both. AI features reviewed perception to fix issues where NPCs wouldn't correctly recognize a target that had died or that they'd seen a situation before. So these issues led to various bugs, including AI constantly calling for medpens or remaining in combat after it had finished. They also revisited cover usage, polishing various functionality and animations to ensure the feature works across a range of situations and environments. Changes and fixes were also made to the tactical point system, which is used to drive where the AI moves. This will help identify what needs to be adjusted when reviewing combat and new locations. Balancing was done for AI ammunition usage while maintaining reload and ammo finding functionality to provide realistic and emergent behaviors and gameplay situations. They also began developing animations for Marine Squad hand signals to sell group movement and combat. AI tech continued implementing base functionality to allow boids, so rats, birds, fish, things like that, to adopt different states such as wandering, idling or fleeing, and transitions between them. They are also looking for a low-cost solution to keep agents on terrain while moving. For NPC audio perception, the team implemented a new functionality for how audio stimuli is propagated. This involves using the room system and how rooms are connected to determine whether an audio event should be heard. They also continue to improve navigation links. Firstly, how links connect navigation triangles from different zones, which wasn't working as intended. Secondly, they fixed how animations play when they begin and finish in different zones. For example, when NPCs jump to the ground from a hovering ship. The Arena Commander feature team polished and supported Alpha 3.20 while beginning Stage 2 of the Arena Commander revitalization plan. How many stages are there? We don't know. There could be 3, there could be 45. They also assisted the ongoing investigation into the return of Theatres of War. This involved identifying the steps needed to update the new spawning module with several unique Theatres of War features, such as spawn locations and multi-crew, and bringing them into other game modes. Hopefully, with 3.21, we will have multi-crew spawning in Arena Commander for sort of Vandal Swarm, for PvP, all those types of modes. And because I do really want to be able to multi-crew attack together, I do want to be able to play Vandal Swarm multi-crew in Constellation Andromeda, things like that, and it will be absolutely awesome. Work continued on the new custom lobbies feature, previously private matches. Engineering began restoring the spectator module as well, which will allow players to spectate matches in custom lobbies and other modes. Design enhanced several outlines for upcoming updates and scouted locations for the persistent universe and beyond for use in Arena Commander. They also began investigating the Theatres of War location Crossroads of Crime to help estimate restoration efforts, because it does look like they are trying to get Theatres of War and that Crossroads of Crime level into Arena Commander in some way, probably as an experimental mode to start with, I would expect. So for the people that don't know, Theatres of War is sort of like a Battlefield-style objective-based PvP mode in teams, relatively large scale, so it could be up to 50v50, and it's sort of combined arms, so you're moving between objectives, but you're using spaceships, you're using ground vehicles, you're attacking on the ground, and very asymmetric. I played it at CitizenCon 2019 and participated in a load of the Evocati tests for it, but eventually it was sort of like paused. But it does look like they are trying to bring it back. It makes sense. The Arena Commander feature team also helped create several new game modes requested by other teams, including a 2v2 mode that will host Fight or Flight at CitizenCon, that 2v2 dogfighting tournament. Engine and tech stuff, I'll really sort of crunch this down. They made a load of progress on water, with the shader gaining improved lighting and foam. Simulation for water and foam propagation also made progress, with bullet impact being supported. A ton of tools were updated and improved. Vulkan integration made a lot of progress, especially with global illumination. They talked a bit about ray tracing and stuff as well. Hopefully we'll see Vulkan integration properly, fully in-game at some point, hopefully by the end of the year. Losing the word hopefully there a lot. R&D work continued on trying to get atmospheric and volumetric clouds looking as good as they can. There were various code improvements to the Gen 12 renderer stuff as well. Obviously this goes hand in hand with Vulkan integration. Boom! That's it for your Star Citizen updates this time. I suppose I should actually say, for those of you who don't know, Vulkan integration, basically, it's going to make the graphics renderer a lot more optimized at scale across a load of different hardware. It should be a lot more performant, and potentially will give us a host of modern graphics options in-game, which Star Citizen severely lacks. Should also help clear up a lot of edge cases, as far as I understand, with problems with crashing to desktop and rendering issues. But anyway, what do you think? I'm really interested to know what you think we're going to see at CitizenCon. Are you excited by the new economy team starting to be activated? Because obviously they're going to be working on stuff with the dynamic economy and building a lot of that dynamic universe simulation, while in the shorter term making sure the game's economy is balanced with like cargo gameplay and the costs of things. Are you excited for Pyro and Alpha 4.0? Do you think we'll see something, even if it's just an Evocati early test, by the end of the year? Or do you think 4.0 is now firmly in 2024? Are you excited for the upcoming 3.20 patch? It does look like it's very sort of polished and refined when it comes to Star Citizen stability, playability, and accessibility. Hopefully putting an end to persistent entity streaming woes with player invisibility and desync, things like that. Are you looking forward to the new ships and vehicles that are going to be released over the next few months? CitizenCon, Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, got quite a lot of stuff happening, 3.20, 3.21. Whatever your thoughts though, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. NordVPN is amazing and you should buy it. It's so useful, it's easier to tell you what it can't do. NordVPN can't do your taxes. Nord, how much do I owe for VAT? NordVPN can't help you buy more spaceships. Nord, add a terrapin to my shopping cart. NordVPN can't cook for you. No, my cabbages! And NordVPN can't be your girlfriend. Can't or won't NordVPN, if that is your real name? NordVPN.com/BoredGamer will help you connect to the internet more safely, securely, and anonymously, with greater access to the content you want. But can I teach it to love? Links below for the best NordVPN deals around. Every month we have a ship giveaway, and for September, that's for the Drake Corsair, that fantastic exploration ship. Not only will you be able to explore the verse with it, but the ship is perfectly competent at a huge range of gameplay, and is a fantastic mission running ship. You can use it for cargo, you can put some vehicles in there. It's reasonably good in a fight, one of the true multi-role, multi-crew ships. To be in for a chance of winning one of those, just comment on any of my videos made during the month. More details down below. Also down below are links to be able to support the channel more. There's the join button, making you one of my elite channel members. You'll get occasional exclusive content. There's also YouTube badges and emotes to show your support. There's also Patreon for those of you that prefer that. We try to mirror the rewards on there as well. But just people liking, subscribing, and sharing these videos goes a long way. A heartfelt thank you to everyone that watched the video. I hope you have a great September, and I'll see you in the verse.